Joy over here. Thanks for joining me on your mats today. Let's do this. So today's class, we're focusing on our second chakra, which is all about, our authentic selves, giving ourselves permission to enjoy ourselves, right? To move freely. And it's all about, the hips, the groins, and creativity. So I hope you enjoy, yourself, your time on your mat. So let's start today in Hero's Pose, Virasana. So if you're not familiar with the shape, and if you have props and you want to use them, you can do that. But basically, it's you take your feet just slightly wider than your hips, and then you come to sit on the ground. So I'm feeling a little bit tight today, and I'm just gonna slide one block under my sits bones. So you're gonna feel this on your ankles as well, and your quads. Some of you may need to sit on 2 blocks, and if you're like, okay, this is not working for me today, you can always just, cross your legs. But try to soften here, sit nice and tall, bring the shoulders over the hips, and just rest your hands here on your quads for a moment. And start to fully arrive on your mat, on your space. Letting go of any external distractions of your day. With each inhale, going a little deeper, creating a little bit more, freedom, space, and with each exhale, softening a little bit more, whether it's your shoulders, your hips, your neck, any tension that you may be holding. Good, and then you're gonna come into all fours. You can get your props out of the way. Start to move through cat and cow here. So stack the shoulders over your wrists, knees under the hips, and start to move here with your breath. Cultivating that Ujjayi breath, that victorious breath, to which you add volume, texture, breathing through the back of the throat. And then start to move your hips a little bit from side to side here. And you can even start to draw circles, press yourself back, and then reverse. Just try to stay curious here. Giving yourself again permission to explore. Good. And then you're gonna bring your knees wider and sit back into a wild child's pose. So open your knees as wide as they go here. So the idea is that you should feel a little bit of a stretch in your groins right away. Extend your arms in front of you, but bring your hands a little bit wider than the shoulders. Breathe big. Exhale slowly. And then slowly come back to that tabletop. Now curl your toes under, press up and back to downward facing dog. Start to paddle your feet here right away. Bend one knee, then the other. And you can even exaggerate here. You can bend one knee and shift your hips completely to the side, and then slowly switch sides. Of course, if that feels good for you today at this moment. All right, from here, if it's available to you, you're gonna cross your right ankle on top of the left leg, so you're still in the downward dog. And then you're gonna start to bend your left knee and lift that heel, like you're doing a figure 4 here. So you're gonna feel this in your IT band, in your outer hip. Keep pressing through the hands. And slowly release. Walk the dog. And then switch sides. And it can be, a baby one here, just crossing the leg. Otherwise, you start to bend your right knee, lift your right heel off the ground. Another breath. And slowly release. Find that downward dog. And then inhale, hover into a tabletop. So we're just gonna wake up the core here a little bit. Make sure your hips are not too high, just about shoulder height. Hold it for 3, 2, 1, and bring your knees down. Sit back, child's pose, roll your wrists. Or you can even sit on your heels, see what feels most comfortable to you. All right, and we meet again in downward dog. Take another breath here. And start to walk yourself to the top of your mat. Take an inhale, lengthen. And exhale to fold. Again, breathe in, lengthen. And breathe out, fold. Take an inhale, press your feet, rise. Palms touch, hands to the heart center. All right. You're gonna step your feet as wide as your sticky mat. Your feet are parallel to each other. Take a big breath in. Exhale, sit low here into bear pose. And you can extend your arms in front of you, or you can just cactus your arms. Arms are straight is gonna be a little bit more challenging. So sit nice and low. You're gonna feel your quads burning. See if you can get your legs parallel to the floor. The weight is on your heels. One more breath here. And slowly release. Keep your feet wide. Just grab your elbows with opposite hands. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the mouth. Again, inhale. And exhale. Bring your feet to about hip width apart, not touching, not too wide. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step your left foot back. Your knee comes down to the ground. Inhale, sweep your arms, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. This one, you're gonna touch your palms and lace the fingers. Soften the tops of your shoulders, square off the hips, anchor down through the right foot. Lift your gaze if you can. Keep the upper body soft and easy, but keep strong through the lower body. Another breath. And then slowly release. Keep your left hand on the ground. Raise your right arm to the sky. Slowly frame your foot. You're going to step back to plank. Inhale at the top of your push-up. Exhale, move through your flow. Knees can come down first. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Raise your left leg high. Step your foot forward. Right knee comes down. Remember, keep your knee over your ankle. Inhale, sweep your arms. Lace the fingers, release your index fingers. Open the chest. Let the pelvis, the hips feel heavy here. But keep engaging through the belly. Another breath. And frame your foot. Keep your right hand on the ground. Raise your left arm. Frame your foot. Step back, plank, inhale. Exhale, move like you. You can do knees, chest, and chin. You can do cobra, upward dog. Set your rhythm today. Set the rhythm that serves you right now. And remember, when you step on your mat, it's gonna be a brand new experience, and it's your experience, right? So you have the freedom to choose. I know often, especially if you go into a public space where your mat is next to people, sometimes you feel that, oh, people are judging me, or should I try this or not? Or you start getting into the head and all that talk that you're not good enough, or you're not strong enough, or you're not flexible enough. So drop that. Just allow yourself, give yourself the permission and freedom to just move like you. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the top of your mat. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, fold. Inhale to rise. Hands touch. Pull the energy to the heart. Stack your feet wide as your sticky mat. So, guys, even though you're watching this through a screen, so, it's even better. It's easier for you to actually just express yourself. Sit nice and low. Bear pose. I want you to challenge yourself a little bit here. Really find sensations. Tap into the power of your legs, the power of your breath. We're here for one more. And release. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Grab your elbows, opposite hands. Sway a little bit from side to side. Thank yourself for the efforts, for showing up today. Walk your feet about hip width. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step your left foot back. Knee comes down to the ground. Inhale, sweep your arms. Now just lace your fingers behind your head. So you're creating a little hammock here. And just lean back here. Make sure you're not crunching your neck. Keep plugging your right hip back. Press that right heel on the ground. See if you can go an inch lower here, a little bit more sensation. Last one. Good, release your hands to frame your foot. You're gonna keep your left hand on the ground. Inhale, raise your arm. Now reach your fingers back. Grab a hold of your foot or your ankle. Add a little quad stretch. Another breath in. Remember, you guys always can just curl your hamstring or grab a strap or a towel. Good, just slowly release here. Step back to plank. You know what to do, move like you. Find our dog. Take a couple breaths here. Reconnect to your breath. Come back to the present moment.
Bridge your left leg high, step your foot forward, right knee comes down, and then reach your arms up. You can lace the fingers or cactus your arms. Make sure that left hip continues to plug back. Breathe into the heart space. Keep the texture, volume to your breath. Mindfully release. Frame your foot. Keep your right hand on the ground. Raise your left arm. Open twist and then exhale. Reach your fingertips back. Bend your right knee. Grab a hold of your foot or your ankle. So keep pressing through that right palm so you're not collapsing into the shoulder. It's almost like you're leaning back here a little bit. Ask yourself, how can you find the sweetness of this pose, of this shape, even if it's causing discomfort? Good, and then slowly release. Just frame your foot and move through a flow here, or just press back to downward dog. Breathe big, breathe slowly. We're gonna raise the right leg to the sky and then bend your right knee, stack your hips open. And you may stay here or you can start to draw circles with your right knee. Draw circles with the right hip. Hold it here for another breath. And then square off the hips once again. Step your right foot forward. Plant your left heel. And you're gonna rise for warrior one. So both hip points are facing forward. You're drawing that belly in and up. Tone your back leg. So the right hip draws back slightly. Take another breath here. And then slowly lace the fingers behind your back. Inhale. Exhale, fold for a humble warrior. Just a couple breaths here. Nothing too crazy. Shake your head yes and no. Open and close your mouth. Soften into the upper back, shoulders. Release your hands to the ground. Walk your hands towards the top left corner of your mat. So we're going to down dog lunge. The tendency here is for the hip to follow. So try to keep drawing your right hip back here. Let your spine get long. The chest to melt towards the floor. And then walk your hands back towards the midline. Walk your right foot a little bit wider here. Now bring your left knee to the ground for lizard pose. So both hands are inside your foot here. Some of you may want to come down to your forearms if that's available. And if you can keep, your spine fairly long here, the blocks can be very helpful if you want to use them. For those of you that are very flexible, make sure you're just not, collapsing into the hip joint here. You're still engaging and pressing through that front foot. Stay with it for a couple more breaths. If you're down on your forearms, press your palms, curl the back toes under, and you're gonna step your left foot to meet your right. Outside your hand, coming to Malasana, to Yogi Squat. a block, you can slide under the sits bones if this feels too intense for you right now. You're gonna take a couple more breaths here. Lengthen through the spine, ground through the heels. Soften the groins, let the sits bones get heavy. And take your hands to the floor, slowly straighten the legs, bring the feet about hip width. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands right back down. Breathe in, lengthen. And breathe out, plant your hands, step or jump, move through your flow, or meet me in downward dog. Raise your left leg, bend your left knee. Keep your shoulders squared and facing the floor. You can draw circles. Move both directions if you're doing that. And then bend your knee, hold it here for one more breath. Square off the hips, straighten the leg in three-legged dog. Step your foot forward, plant your right heel. And rise, warrior one. Give yourself time to arrive and to reconnect to the breath. And then lace your fingers behind your back. Breathe in, open the heart, exhale, fold, humble warrior. Take a big breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Release your hands to the floor. Walk your hands towards that top right corner of your mat. Into that down dog lunge. See if you can bend your knee another inch here. Relax any tension, release any tension from shoulders, neck, jaw. Walk your hands back towards the midline. You're going to take your right knee to the floor. Walk your left foot a little bit wider so both hands come on the inside for your lizard pose. And try not to, compare too much the sides. You can just, take note of what's going on. If it feels a little bit different or a lot different, and then try to go back to the breath and use your breath in order to release, soften any resistance, any tightness. Remember that we use yoga to be able to remove the cobwebs, to peel off the layers, right? So we can remember who we truly are. So we can be free. We can express ourselves, be happy, right? Be content in our own skin. Which is not always very easy to do. But take advantage. This is your time to shine. All right, slowly, if you're down on your forearms, take the hands back. Press your palms, curl the back toes. We're gonna revisit the Malasana Yogi Squat. So step your right foot outside your right hand. use your block if you want. If not, just remember you don't have to come all the way down. You can be, halfway. Use your arms to press into the legs as the legs hug in into your arms. Soften through the shoulders. Let those 6 bones feel heavy towards the earth. I feel a very nice stretch in my low back right now. And then take your left hand to the ground, walk your arms slightly to the side, raise your right arm to the sky. Add a little twist here. And come back to center. And switch. Inhale. Exhale, hands down, extend through the legs. Grab your elbows with opposite hands. You can bend your knees generously here. Just give yourself some time to release a little bit more here, the low back, and open the back of the legs. And then take your hands to your hips, press your feet slowly with the flat back, come all the way up. All right, very nice. Let's do a little bit of balancing, shall we? So today it's all about the hips, right? So creating, expanding, releasing anything that, it feels heavy and that doesn't serve you. So we're gonna transfer the weight to the right foot. Lift your left heel off the ground. Grow tall, pull the belly in. Now take your left knee about hip height. Find your balance first here. Maybe this is where you stay. Otherwise, take an inhale. Exhale, open your knee to the side. Good, come back to center. And slowly open wide. Good, last one. Hold it here. Now, you can catch your foot, place all the way up close to your groin, or your foot can be below the knee. So see where you are today. Take your hands to the heart center, grow tall. Press your foot into your leg into your foot. If you want to grow your tree, start to reach your arms up. And maybe lift your gaze slightly. So the tree is about rooting down, right? So we have a strong foundation here so we can grow tall, we can rise. But it's also being, again, comfortable and trusting who we are. One more. And then palms touch, slowly bring the hands to the heart center and release. Shake it out, let go, start fresh. Let go of what already happened, right? And see what happens on the other side. Try not to expect anything. All right, grow tall, engage that standing leg. Draw your knee about hip height, it doesn't have to be super high. Breathe in and breathe out, open the knee to the side. Inhale, center. And switch. Last one. Good, from here, set up your foot, find a place that works for you right now. Just center yourself, ground yourself first, and then whenever you feel ready, you can start to reach your arms up. Soften the tops of the shoulders, brighten the fingers. Feel the power of your breath, of your legs.
Bring your hands to touch. Pull the energy to the heart center. Slowly release. Shake it out. Big breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Good, come to the top of your mat. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, step your right foot back. So you have heel to arch alignment. And then open to warrior two. So this time our hips and our chest are facing the side. Good, press through that right heel, flip your right palm, reach up and back for a peaceful warrior. You can add a half bind here, wrapping your arm behind your back. Good, another breath in. Come back to your warrior two. Straighten that front leg, but keep a soft bend on your knee. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, tick-tock your arms. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Those of you with blocks at home, you can use your block. So scoop your right hip under here so you can actually lean back a little bit. The chest stays open the whole time. Again, another breath. Grow a little bit longer through the side body. Shift your gaze down. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Keep reaching back, but now straighten that front leg. Good. Extend your arms, pivot your right foot. Take your hands to your hips. Inhale. Exhale, slowly fold. And then from here, as your hands come to the ground, I want you to start to move from side to side. Doesn't have to be a big movement here, but just getting a little bit more through the hips. And then come back to center, find stillness, fold here. Your forearms may come down to the ground. You may grab your elbows with opposite hands. Another mindful breath here. Take your hands to your hips, press your feet, tone the belly and legs, rise with a flat back, circle the arms, and then open to warrior two. Find your pose, take your time. Same amount of attention and awareness you did on the other side, you want to do the same here. Flip your palm, reach up and back. Peaceful warrior, option to take the half bind. Make sure your ribs are not splaying out here. Keep pulling the belly in and knit your ribs together. Come back to center. Straighten your front leg. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, tick-tock your arms. Again, blocks can be helpful here with alignment and finding stability. Try to use the strength of your legs and your core to support you. Become very light through the fingertips here. One more breath. Slowly come back to warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Keep reaching back straight in your front leg. Reverse triangle. Good, just straighten the arms. Pivot your left foot, take an inhale, hands to hips. Exhale, slowly fold.
All right, so now you're gonna bend whatever side you wanna do first. We're gonna go into a full side lunge, Skandasana. So the idea here is to have the heel flat on the ground. So some of you, it may feel most comfortable to actually have a block under the sits bones and then flex your toes here on that leg that's nice and straight. And then, so my right leg is straight right now. I'm bending my left knee. So my left arm stays inside my leg so I can actually open my chest. And for some of you, this is not what it's going to look like, right? Maybe for some of you, you stay here today and that's, you know, the same pose. It took me a few years to get down here and not be, you know, struggling so much and being able to breathe. Good, and then slowly release. We're gonna switch sides, so be mindful of your transition. Again, maybe you stay up here today, see what it feels like, otherwise start to come all the way down, whether you're using a prop or not. But that sit bone is not touching the ground, right? You have some space here. Open your chest, maybe you add a little twist and reach your arm up. One more breath. And then slowly release. Walk your hands towards your right foot. Step back to your plank. And move through your flow. Choose a back bend of your choice. And come to downward dog. Raise your right leg to the sky, step your right foot forward. Open warrior two, inhale. Reverse your warrior, exhale. You're gonna come back to warrior two. Take your left hand to your hip. Now start to reach forward. Your fingertips are gonna come to the floor or a block. And then you're gonna float your left leg into half moon pose. Make sure that foot that's on the ground didn't turn sideways. Flex your toes. Maybe you start to shift your gaze to the horizon or towards the ceiling. You can even extend your arm here. Keep that standing leg very strong. Keep the breath nice and smooth. One more breath. Slowly, gracefully come back to your warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, take a rainbow warrior. So it's like a Skandasana, but instead of going all the way down, you just come halfway. And then slowly extend the legs. Turn your heels in, toes out. So the toes face slightly out. You're gonna bend your knees here and adjust, friends. So your knees should be roughly in line with your ankles. You're gonna cactus your arms here. Now you can take your right elbow under the left. I'm just gonna mirror for this one. Good. Sit here, bring your elbows about shoulder height, hands away from your face. Maybe move from side to side. Sit low. Inhale, stretch your arms and your legs. Exhale, open to warrior two, bending your left knee now. And reverse your warrior.
Inhale, come back to warrior two. Take your hand to your hips, start to reach forward. So your fingertips come towards your pinky toe side, about a foot in front, raise that leg. You can keep your gaze down or slowly turn it to the side. Wake up your legs, your toes, maybe raise your arm. Are you breathing? And then slowly come back to your warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, rainbow warrior. So straighten the leg, that left leg. One more breath here. And slowly just straighten the legs, heels in, toes out. We're gonna go into goddess horse pose once again. So sit nice and low, cactus your arms, and now this time is the left elbow under. Good. Lengthen your tailbone. Again, stillness or movement, see what you need. Explore your breath, your body, be curious. There's no right or wrong. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to the hips. We're gonna turn the toes forward and then slowly hinge at the hips. Let's release the low back a little bit. Let's take 3 breaths. Final one. Release your hands to the floor. Walk your hands towards your right foot. And step back to your plank. You feel free to move through one last flow here. Or you can just press back to downward dog. And then slowly come down to your knees. So today we've done a lot of external rotation of the hips. And now we're gonna focus a little bit more on the outer hips, all right? So maybe keep a blanket if you have one, or a block handy. You may not need it, but it's nice to have just in case. Come to a tabletop. From here, you're just gonna take your right knee behind your left. And then open your feet wide here and start to come to sit in between your feet, so not on top of it. This can come under the sits bones if you notice that you're rolling to one side more than the other. Flex your toes. Good. Very nice. Now take an inhale. As you exhale, take your left hand to the floor and take a side stretch here. So whatever leg is on top is the same hand that it's on the floor. One more breath. Good, come back to center. Big breath in, you may stay here, otherwise slowly walk your hands forward and fold. Couple more, soften. Last one. And slowly walk the hands back. You can just release the legs, windshield wipe a little bit here. Good, and then we're gonna switch sides. So your left knee this time come on top. I'm sorry, your right knee. And then sit back. Again, if both sits bones are pressing down, you're good. Otherwise, a blanket, towel, or a little block can be handy. Flex your toes. Sit tall, lengthen the spine. Inhale, reach. And then exhale, take that side stretch. Now, make sure the chest is open, the shoulders are square. Untuck your chin. One more breath. Come back to center. And then option here to fold. If it's too much, don't do it. But if it's just enough where you're like, okay, I feel the stretch, I feel that something is happening, it might be nice to just sit with it, right? Sit with discomfort. Sometimes it's necessary. I always say that's when the magic happens. You feel that shift, that, removing the blockage, the energy, just moving a little bit more. It's like when you're having a crappy day and you're moody or you're like low energy, and even though you don't want to come to your mat or, any type of anything that's physical, or running or riding your bike, or even just a simple walk, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, even though I'm not really feeling like it. But then once you're done, you're like, oh, that was awesome, it was worth it. So it's just like shifting that energy. Last breath here, maybe go a little deeper. And then walk your hands back slowly. Windshield wipe your legs. All right, so you're gonna stay seated here, and we're gonna have a few options to do this, but it's to get a little bit more again into that outer hip, like piriformis, the glute, that big muscle. So you're gonna stack your right ankle on top of the left leg. So the hands are behind you with the fingers pointing forward. Flex your toes. To feel a little bit more sensation, you bring the hips forward a little bit more. So your sits bones are close to your heel. And you can just sit here. If you want to add a little bit more challenge, you can even lift your hips. Press through the hands. Keep that right knee nice and wide. Slowly come back down. Stay here for one more. Now you're gonna extend your left leg. Keep your right leg on top. Sit tall. And for some of you, you just keep this figure 4. If you wanna work a little bit more, you can walk that foot closer to the hip crease for like a half lotus, working towards a half lotus. Maybe you sit here, otherwise you can start to fold over your leg. Remember, be mindful of your knee here, so maybe you just walk that foot forward a little bit more. Keep that left leg engaged as you flex your toes. In fact, you're flexing both your feet here.
Last one. And walk your hands back, relax, let go. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So sit tall, take your left ankle on top of your right leg, flex your toes. Maybe you start to move forward a little bit more, but keep lengthening through the spine, friends. Take that knee away from you, energy through your feet. You may stay here, or if you want a little bit more challenge, you can slowly press your hips up for a little reverse tabletop here. Bring your sits bones down to the ground. Hold it for another breath. And then mindfully extend your right leg on the floor. Either work towards the half lotus or just keep your foot here. I don't have very much, a lot of range of motion on my left hip, so I'm just gonna stick with the simple variation. So remember, just show up as who you truly are. Allow yourself to have fun. To me as a teacher, right, it took me quite a few years to, just find my voice as a teacher. And of course we have those moments where we're afraid that we're gonna be judged or we're gonna make a fool of ourselves. But I find that 11 years, 10 years teaching, that I just need to accept who I am and show up as my authentic self. And I just think that in life, that's the best we can do. Just be who we are. So if you catch yourself, doubting or judging yourself, take a moment, pause, breathe, go back inside, and then slowly release. All right. Now let's just take a little Supta Baddha Konasana, butterfly. And I always like to give options, right? Because our bodies are different. So, that's why it's important to pause and listen and see what the body's telling you. You have two options here, and it's not right or wrong. It's just different sensations, different areas. So you can either walk your heels in and fold and be a little bit more active and feel more into the groins, or you can walk the feet forward a little bit more of a diamond shape with your legs, and then you can fold here. I prefer my feet away from me. It's just I feel more in my low back and my outer hips and a little bit of the IT band as well. And you can maybe just round your spine and soften and relax, or you can use your forearms to press it down and be a little bit more active with the spine a little bit longer. Again, there's no right or wrong. It's just really a matter of what serves you right now. What is it that you need? Slow down the breath. Find that peaceful, quiet space within yourself. And take 3 more slow, very slow breaths.
And slowly, if you feel ready, you can always hang it here for a little bit longer. Walk your hands back. Windshield wipe the legs. And we're gonna take a seated twist today. So, because we're focusing on the hips, we're gonna try this variation, but I will offer something else just in case this is not working for you. So you're gonna bend your left knee here and hug your heel towards your sit bone, and then cross your right leg over. So I have roughly knee to heel alignment. I'm rooting down, planting that right big toe on the ground. If you notice your bottom knee is hurting right away, extend your bottom leg so you can keep the leg straight. Now hook your left elbow outside and take your right hand behind your back. Use your inhale to lengthen, your exhale to twist. Again, breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, twist. Slowly release, take a counter twist here. And we're gonna switch sides. So you're gonna take your right knee under the leg, cross your left leg over, sit tall, left hand behind your back, inhale, reach, and exhale, twist. Just one more breath here. And slowly release. Come all the way down to your backs for Shavasana. Release. Extend your legs, your arms. Take a lot of space. Make sure your feet are at least mat's distance, the width of your mat. Bring your arms slightly away from the body. Adjust shoulders, hips. Give yourself permission to just receive, to rest, for the body to absorb all the beautiful gifts of yoga. Remember that this is the most important pose. All your efforts, all the poses, your breath leading you up to this moment. You may stay here as long as you like. Spend at least, usually a couple minutes in Shavasana. Otherwise, if you're ready to move on with your day, you can start to bring life back into the fingers and your toes as you deepen your breath and your awareness once again. Always taking a moment to thank yourself, thank your body for the efforts, for being so capable and strong. for showing up for yourself. May you have peace, may you be happy, may you be free. From my heart to yours, namaste.